into the November FIFA International window and the Concacaf Nations League quarterfinals here in 2024 from the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. It is Jamaica playing host to the United States. This is the first leg quarterfinal. I'm Josh Eastern, glad to be with you here tonight. A very warm evening here in the capital city of Jamaica. We are ready for the first leg of this Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal, and a tasty fixture we have on our hands between Jamaica and the United States. The other ones going on around Concacaf tonight and tomorrow, the first legs, Costa Rica and Panama will be the other matchup tonight. But a lot to sink your teeth into when you look at this matchup tonight. The office, as they call this venue, the National Stadium, is filling in as we are almost set for the first competitive match in the managerial career of Mauricio Pochettino as head coach of the United States men's national team. This is the United States side that has had their struggles here in 2024. They are 4-6-2 in their 12 matches so far this calendar year. They have just one win in their last 6 since that 2-0 win against Bolivia in Copa America. For Jamaica, they had to go through the first round of Concacaf Nations League here in this cycle. They did very well. They won 2 games. They drew 2 games. It was good enough for first place in their group. They only scored, though, 4 goals in their 4 matches, but they only conceded the 1 goal. Their 2 home matches were draws against Cuba and Honduras. They went on the road and beat Honduras and Nicaragua. So with that, it sets the stage for what should be a pretty interesting one here tonight. The last time that the United States was here in Kingston was back in 2021. It was World Cup qualifying, and it was a 1-1 draw on the night. It was Tim Weah who got the opening goal in the 11th minute. 11 minutes later, Mikel Antonio, he scored to equalize. And those were the only 2 goals in the game. Now, both of those players, Timothy Weah and Mikel Antonio, will not be participating tonight. Mikel Antonio is suspended for this first leg, and so is Tim Weah. Tim Weah's suspension comes from this being the 2nd competitive match after he was sent off in Copa America against Panama. Both teams with relatively new managers. The United States, Mauricio Pochettino, this is his first competitive match in charge. For Jamaica, it is Steve McLaren. This is his 5th match in charge of the Jamaican national team since being appointed back in July. But we are set to go from the National Stadium here in Kingston. The teams are being led out onto the field by our referees this evening. The first leg of the Concacaf Nations League quarterfinals. Qualification for Gold Cup is also included in these quarterfinals and in the next few months. We'll hear the national anthem of both the United States and Jamaica as we build you up to first kick.
Please rise for the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America. We ask that you remain standing as we now listen to the national anthem of Jamaica.
Building you up to first kick tonight from Kingston, Jamaica, and the National Stadium here in Kingston. It's the first leg quarterfinal of Concacaf Nations League, with Jamaica playing host to the United States. Final handshakes between both sides as we inch a little bit closer to kickoff tonight. A chance to look at tonight's starting lineups, and we start with Steve McLaren's Jamaica side. The captain, Andre Blake, will get the start in goal. Big news for Jamaica in this window. Leon Bailey, their star player, is back in the squad. It is his first appearance since November 21st of last year in the second leg quarterfinal against Canada. So they get Leon Bailey back, who is earning his 31st cap tonight, the man who plays for Aston Villa. 12 players on this roster currently play in England. And the United States, they are all across Europe and the world as well. Our referees tonight, the man in the middle is Juan Gabriel Calderon, who actually officiated the last match between the United States and Jamaica here in Kingston, a 1-1 draw back in 2021 in World Cup qualifiers. It is an all Costa Rican officiating crew. Captain for the United States this evening is Tim Ream, number 13, captaining the United States for the 13th time. Just waiting on the captain of Jamaica, which is the goalkeeper Andre Blake of the Philadelphia Union in Major League Soccer. One final photo op for the referees and the captains tonight. And it's a chance to look at our VAR room tonight, which is headed up by Jesus Montero of Costa Rica. Diego O'Hare of Guatemala will be the VAR assistant. And for the United States, the first competitive match in charge for Mauricio Pochettino. He made 6 changes from that 2-0 loss in October at Mexico. As I mentioned, Tim Ream, he wears the captain's armband. It is the first start under Mauricio Pochettino for Tanner Tessman and Ricardo Pepi, who gets the start in the 9 role tonight, while Christian Pulisic is the 33rd United States men's national team player to earn 75 caps. And with that, we are all set to go for this first leg quarterfinal in Concacaf Nations League. The first of the Nations League quarterfinals. There is the whistle, and we are underway tonight from Kingston, Jamaica. A great crowd on hand to settle in to Jamaica and the United States. So much unknown, really, for both of these managers coming into this game tonight. As Jamaica head coach Steve McLaren said, the 63-year-old Englishman, he said, it's a real rivalry from what I told, but he says, I'm not really sure what to expect from this atmosphere, from this sort of game tonight. So we'll see how it all transpires. This is the second all-time matchup, though, between Steve McLaren and Mauricio Pochettino. The last time they met was back in December of 2015. It was Steve McLaren's Newcastle side that actually beat Tottenham, the side that Mauricio Pochettino was managing at the time. Won 2-1 did Newcastle at White Hart Lane. A minute in, and a goal kick for the United States. And as Christian Pulisic, man who they're calling Captain America right now, he said coming into this window, it's been a good reset with the new manager. He says it's brought an environment where everyone is on their toes. He said everyone is just that much more focused. He finished by saying, we want to make a good first impression and impress the manager, which is what many of the Jamaican players are trying to do with Steve McLaren. Although this is McLaren's now third window in charge, has yet to lose any of his previous 4 matches in charge of Jamaica through the first round of Nations League. And it's a turnover in the middle. Tanner Tessman taking off the ball. Here's Leon Bailey now for Jamaica. Tim Ream able to get this out of harm's way. Upfield as far as Ricardo Pepi. And now the United States looking for a way out. An interesting partnership in the middle tonight with Tanner Tessman and Johnny Cardoso as the United States finds a way forward. Yunus Musa, who we've seen play in the midfield, playing more as a winger tonight, while Weston McKennie plays more centrally tonight for the United States. Here is Johnny Cardoso. Cardoso earning his first cap under Mauricio Pochettino. Here's Tim Ream on the ball, partnering with Mark McKenzie tonight. Christian Pulisic on the ball, his first touches tonight for the United States. Anthony Robinson in the U.S. keeping the ball here early on. Tessman, who's currently playing for Lyon in France. His move from Venezia in the summer. Cardoso looking for the switch of play and stays in. Yunus Musa nods it back for Joe Scally. Scally, McKennie. Scally forced to turn it back to Matt Turner. The United States starting out in possession tonight. United States 3 wins, a loss, and 6 draws all time here in Kingston as Jamaica's looking to come forward again. It's McKenzie who pokes it away. Leon Bailey has been already an influential player tonight for Jamaica. Expect him to be throughout the night. Had some disagreements with the previous manager, Mayor Algrimson. Was actually named to the Copa America squad because it was such a big squad, but did not participate, did not come to the United States for that competition. And it was Jamaica who put up some good fights in their 3 group stage matches, but ended up losing all 3 of them. Pulisic ahead for Ricardo Pepi. Pepi's in! Pepi scores! A dream start for the United States in Kingston. Inside of 5 minutes, Pepi makes it 1-0. There is VAR, and of course it will be looked at. It was very, very tight. Pulisic playing assist man. It looks like it was just onside there. Greg Lee looked to be playing Ricardo Pepi onside. Now our VAR, Jesus Montero, will have the final word, but Mauricio Pochettino has to like what he's seen now from his United States squad. This goal will stand. Ricardo Pepi with his 12th international goal in his first start under Mauricio Pochettino. He marks it with a goal. Pepe has been in fine form as well for PSV in all competitions. He has 6 goals this year for PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands. He scored those 6 goals in 11 Eredivisie appearances. He has found some good form. He's coming off a goal and an assist in 71 minutes just last weekend against NAC Breda in Eredivisie play. He picks up right where he left off, and with injuries and absences in that number 9 spot, a chance for Pepe to really grasp that role in this window under Mauricio Pochettino. Looks like the referee is content to play advantage here. That is a big early moment for the United States, because when they had played Jamaica, there have been so many tight matches. 24 of the 33 games all time against Jamaica have been decided by a goal or a draw. Here's Greg Lee trying to roll it infield. Maybe a bit of a shock to the system for Jamaica. The United States came out on the front foot. And remember, this is just leg 1, so a lot to consider going into St. Louis, which is where the second leg will be played on Mondays. This is rolled in behind again. Anthony Robinson could be in. Robinson saved. Andre Blake coming up with a big stop for Jamaica, the Reggae Boys. As now this moves back the other way. Shamar Nicholson. Nicholson plays it infield. Damari Gray. He ran into Casey Palmer, and the threat is gone. Palmer has never scored for Jamaica. Damari Gray has 5 goals in his Jamaican career. All of a sudden, this game is wide open. Great stop. Back on the other end by Andre Blake to keep this game at 1-0. Steve McLaren trying to find out how his team can get back into this. It's usually a Jamaican side, at least under Jaime Hallgrimsson over the summer in Copa America, is a team that like to sit in and defend and then try to catch teams out on the counterattack. Seems like the United States wants to be out in transition, or pardon me, on the ball, which means Jamaica might be able to be out in transition tonight. There is Mauricio Pochettino, hired as United States men's national team coach in September. He's been a coach all around Europe in his past. Espanyol, Southampton, Tottenham Hotspur, PSG, most recently with Chelsea. The United States have the 2 most recent Chelsea managers under their umbrella, with the men's and women's team, with Emma Hayes, most recent Chelsea FC women's coach, and Mauricio Pochettino, his last stop was Chelsea as well. Tessman, and now Weston McKennie. McKennie with Latabaudiere right there with him. McKennie gets it back. It comes for Christian Pulisic. Puts the shot up and over the bar. A good chance, and the United States have found themselves in good goal-scoring opportunities here in the early going. The ball just bouncing up. He couldn't get on top of that ball as it came up off this surface. It's a natural grass surface, but as you can kind of see, it looks to be a bit torn up already, just 9.5 minutes in. These Nation League quarterfinals are being used as Gold Cup qualifiers as well. The 4 quarterfinal winners will qualify directly for the Concacaf Gold Cup in the summer of 2025, the upcoming summer. Also, the 4 winners will move into the Nations League semifinals, which will be contested in March at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, in the Los Angeles area. The 4 losers will go into the Concacaf Gold Cup play-in round, which last year was used as the Copa America play-in round, just being used for Gold Cup instead this go-around. Lemby, some good pressure, and now trying to win the ball back. He does. His progress slowed by Amari Bell. And Latibodiere wins it back in the middle for the Reggae Boys. Pepe in the 5th minute. The perfect start for the United States. Dexter Lemby-Kisa could not keep that ball in play. Lemby-Kisa, who currently plays in Switzerland, but was one of the bright young talents, number 2 in yellow tonight in the Gold Cup and Copa America in the past for Jamaica. Turns it over. A rough start for Gregory Lee, but it's won back quickly. And Shamar Nicholson on the turn. Nicholson weaving through. Nicholson goes down. No whistle. Oh, it's a penalty. The referee let play go on and then brought it back. It's a point to the spot, and Jamaica a chance to equalize. Great work from Shamar Nicholson, trying to weave his way through. Turner went in for the challenge. It looks like he did catch Nicholson on this step right here. No doubt about it, there is contact there. Once that ball went out of play, the referee tried to play advantage to see if there would be a chance coming. There wasn't. It's a penalty awarded to Jamaica, and immediately a chance to respond. Shamar Nicholson won the penalty, but it's going to be Damari Gray who steps up to take this for Jamaica. He scored 3 Nations League goals in his career. And now a chance to equalize against the United States. Damari Gray, it's saved! Matt Turner keeps it out! A head-in-hands moment for Jamaica and Steve McLaren. Turner concedes the penalty, but he saves the shot. And Damari Gray's first goal for Jamaica in 2024 will have to wait. What a moment for Matt Turner. Now an in-swinger, Jamaica's first corner kick, played towards the near post and headed away by McKenzie. Pulisic helps it out, and all the way back to Andre Blake. What a moment for the United States as they're able to keep the lead that they earned in the 5th minute. And Jamaica will be scratching their heads. It does have to give the Reggae Boys confidence that they were able to answer back. They got themselves in a great position to score. Just have to put those chances away. Shamar Nicholson trying to connect with Leon Bailey, his header off the mark. And Anthony Robinson charging forward. Robinson, who plays for Fulham in the Premier League in England, is rated as one of the best left backs in the Premier League as well, is Robinson. Enjoying a fantastic first few months of this new season. Pulisic. Foul in the middle, Ream, advantage being played. Center back out of position now, and here comes Jamaica with Leon Bailey. Maybe caught in two minds was Bailey doing a cross or a pass ahead to Damari Gray and a shot. Now a player down in the middle for Jamaica. There was advantage being played for the Reggae boys. This might have been from that challenge. Yeah, it is Shamar Nicholson who went down. Missed that last chance. Leon Bailey was just trying to find some space. He was miss-hit whatever he was trying to do. And another look at Matt Turner's save. Damari Gray went for power. It was a comfortable height, and the reaction from Steve McLaren. Former England head coach Steve McLaren in 2006 and 2007. He was hired to take charge of this Jamaican side back on July 31st of this calendar year. Nicholson still being treated here. You can see that passion from all of the United States players coming towards Matt Turner. Four goalkeepers called into this camp for the United States. Zach Steffen, who is the most experienced of the three on the bench tonight. He's 29 caps in his career. Patrick Schulte, who played in the Olympics this summer. And then the youngster, a bit of a wild card, Diego Cochin, the 18-year-old, has yet to earn a cap for the United States. Plays in the FC Barcelona Academy and is now playing for one of the second teams, FC Barcelona Athletic. Drop ball and back into play. Turner for Mackenzie. The United States will start at the back. Have to be very pleased with how this game has started. Scally looking for the ball over the top. Greg Lee with the header, and McKenny wins the second ball. And that gets the United States into the attacking third. Now Yunus Musa. Musa, missed touch, cleaned up by Tanner Tessman. Here's McKenny. Musa under some pressure from Damian Lowe and turned over. Greg Lee. Lee and Musa battling. The foul goes against Casey Palmer. And a free kick back to the United States. The referee saw the two arms around Musa. It was an easy decision to point back the other way. Another look at the goal. A kiss off the inside of the post for Ricardo Pepi. Big goal for the United States to get them on the board, maybe take a little bit of the pressure off in the early going in this first leg. A substitution here for the United States. This is not what they wanted here early, as Johnny Cardoso is being forced to come off. It's not what you want to see if you're Mauricio Pochettino. Coming on will be Malik Tillman. Tillman, the 22-year-old who plays for PSV Eindhoven. He has been in good form as well for the Dutch side. Has scored 6 goals as well as Ricardo Pepi for PSV in all competitions this year. Although Malik Tillman just scoring in Champions League back on Tuesday, November 5th. Scored a goal against Girona, assisted 2 more in the 4-0 win for PSV Eindhoven against the Spanish side. Malik Tillman earns his 17th cap tonight. Here's Pulisic now for the United States. Cut back. Touched away. The loose ball. Tamari Gray there to win it. He was fouled by Joe Scally. And Juan Gabriel Calderon would like a word there with the United States outside back. Just a tug of the jersey from behind. Gray, a heavy touch. Now played over the top. Turner's way out of his goal. And he got something on it. That could have been disaster for the United States. And they do get a throw in out of it. Playing with fire there was Matt Turner, about 30 yards out of his goal. Kind of a topsy-turvy night for Matt Turner. Concedes the penalty, but then saves it, and then nearly gets caught out 30 yards away. Turner letting the ball roll back, and he gets it away. The oncoming Shamar Nicholson. There's Greg Lee and Damian Lowe. The midway point of this first half. Ricardo Pepi scoring in the 5th minute. And then Matt Turner saving a Tamari Gray penalty just a few minutes after. And then the United States just a few moments ago making their first sub of the game, and injured Johnny Cardoso forced off Malik Tillman on. Jamaica has found a few good moments going forward. Andre Blake has also made another big save, so there have been chances on both sides. Moving out wide, too far for Tillman. Throw-in coming for Jamaica. It's a bit of a new lease on life for Tanner Tessman with the United States national team. Earning his 5th cap tonight, but it's his first start under Mauricio Pochettino. A player who didn't get called in a ton or didn't get very many looks under Greg Berhalter. He earned his first cap back in 2021, made another cap in 2023. Now this already his 3rd appearance here in 2024. Leon Bailey trying to fight forward. Ball rolls out of play. Good defending from Anthony Robinson. Should mention with Tessman, though, he did make 4 appearances at the Paris Olympics this summer. All right on the money and into the path of Joe Scally, and the United States is out and into the attack. Pulisic and Weston McKennie. Gonna play to the end line, head of the way by Lee. Some pressure at the back, and Malik Tillman with the foul as Amari Bell goes down. Trying to play in behind. Pressure on Mark McKenzie, and turned over. Damari Gray trying to get end line. Gray out of the way by Turner. The header coming back towards goal. And up and over the bar. Jamaica has some moments going forward. That was Mason Holgate, currently playing for West Brom, the former Everton man. Another look here, Gray is using that pace to beat McKenzie to the end line. The last 3 matches between Jamaica and the United States after 90 minutes, the score has been 1-1. The last time they played was at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It was the semifinals of the last edition of Nations League. It was Greg Lee who scored in the first minute. The United States had a ton of chances throughout that game, 25 total shots. But it was an own goal, 90+6. They got the United States level, and Haji Wright scored 2 goals in extra time to win that game and move the United States on to the final against Mexico, in which they won 2-0. Jamaica ended up winning 3rd place, taking down Panama by a goal to 0. The United States are the only winners of Concacaf Nations League in its 3 previous editions. Thought he was fouled, but taken off the ball. Jamaica streaming forward. Scally gets it away. Tanner Tessman now, that's a few giveaways in the middle. Christian Pulisic talked about it. Everyone is focused because you want to make a good first impression, impress this new coaching staff. Tessman rolls it through the middle again. Pass off the mark, looking for Tillman. Now Gray trying to connect with Nicholson. Miss a foul against Shamar Nicholson. Nicholson, who currently plays for Spartak Moscow. And he is the one down for Jamaica. He's been working hard so far in this game. Earned the penalty for the Reggae Boys. And he's down here. They're getting tangled up there with Mark McKenzie. Training staff out to treat Shamar Nicholson once again. Good atmosphere tonight at the National Stadium here in Jamaica. Steve McLaren said we wanted to feel like, quote, the office again, which is the nickname for this venue. It's been a good 2024 for them. 6 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws. They come in 61st in the FIFA rankings. The United States, they have dropped to 18th in the FIFA rankings. They were in the lower teens just a few cycles ago. The U.S. it's just 1 win in their last 6 since a 2-0 win against Bolivia in Copa America. For Mauricio Pochettino, trying to buck a trend for new United States managers in their first competitive away games. Managers are just 2-12-4 all time in their first competitive away matches. Through 30 minutes, this has been a great start for the United States. The only 2 managers to win their first competitive away games, Bob Bradley in 2008, Steve Sampson in 1996. top, Tessman, miss hit cross. United States will retrieve things again. Jamar Nicholson waiting to come back on the fields. And he is back on now for Jamaica. Taking off the ball again. And then Malik Tillman wins it back. Christian Pulisic that time was the guilty party. Here's McKennie. Tessman. United States have only won 2 of their last 16 competitive away games. That goes back to November of 2016. These games have always tripped them up, given them some trouble. But Jamaica, they don't have the best record against the United States in their competitive matches, just 2-13-8 in their competitive matches against the United States. With the foul. Remember, this is a Jamaican side getting Leon Bailey back for the first time in a year. But they are without Mikel Antonio, who is suspended for this first leg, and also without Ethan Pinnock, who has been a stalwart defensively for Brentford this year in the Premier League. He is not part of the lineup tonight. Keeps it in play. Musa and Tillman there defensively, out for a Jamaican throw. Back for Pulisic. Pulisic trying to weave through. Pulisic now putting some pressure on Andre Blake. Blake lets it run all the way into his box. Christian Pulisic, another player that has been in great form for his club team, AC Milan. 15 appearances in all competitions, 7 goals, 4 assists. Enjoying arguably one of his best club seasons in his career. It's over the top. And Turner out of his box. Now the flag comes up, and it is offside. With VAR in effect in these quarterfinals. Referees keeping that flag down, as we're accustomed to seeing now in many club games. Tim Ream turns it back for Matt Turner. Turner's distribution. Robinson and Pulisic. 10 minutes to go until the break. His first leg, quarterfinal, Concacaf Nations League. Here comes Jamaica again, looking in field for Palmer. Palmer's shot rolling into the arms of Matt Turner. here in Nations League. The other matchup tonight, Costa Rica and Panama. Battle for Central America. Suriname and Canada, along with Honduras and Mexico. Those games will be contested tomorrow, and Honduras and Mexico played a really enticing quarterfinal a year ago in this same round. And they'll go at it again here in 2024. Bell, and now Damari Gray. Gray able to keep his feet. Keeps possession for Jamaica as well. Cross floated in. Nicholson, his header floating well wide. He's the target man for Jamaica. Likes of Damari Gray, Leon Bailey, Casey Palmer, players who try to make it happen right behind Nicholson. Never really had a chance of going on target. Coming together here, Pulisic in the middle of it for the U.S. Over the top this time for Damari Gray. It was Joe Scally stepping in to nod it back for Matt Turner. United States in this game with 56% of the ball. But lately, Jamaica have been coming up with the opportunities towards Matt Turner's goal. Now maybe something back the other way, but Andre Blake had it read. His clearance into the middle. There's Tanner Tessman and Weston McKennie. Turned over. It started so well for the U.S. It also has been a little sloppy at times from the Americans. Here's Pepe. Sometimes when you come on the road in these sorts of environments, the conditions, the atmosphere, just get the job done. It doesn't necessarily matter how pretty it looks. Moved ahead for Pulisic. Pulisic trying to keep it alive. He does just that. Connecting with McKennie. Now Tessman. Pulisic still down. Cut back for McKennie. McKennie trying to find some wiggle room, and he goes down. There's no whistle. Palmer carries forward for Jamaica. He had it cut off, and back for Matt Turner. Nothing doing for the Reggae boys. Turner. And here's Mark McKenzie. Break some lines. Pulisic. on the move for the United States. Two options up ahead, Pepe and Musa. Instead it's Scally, touched ahead for Yunus. Musa keeps it in play. And Andre Blake prevents a corner kick. He wants to go quick. He'll go direct over the top. McKenzie nods it down for Tim Ream. This is the same back four for the United States that started the October friendly against Panama. That was a win for the United States. They're not in official competition with it just being a friendly. They won that game by 2-0. Goals from Yunus Musa and Ricardo Pepi. He rolls it forward. Malik Tillman. There's Ricardo Pepi, but Greg Lee slid in. With some pressure there on Andre Blake, just gets rid of it. His pass was on the mark. Now down the line, long run. Tim Ream beats Leon Bailey to it. Since the goal, Jamaica has gotten themselves back into this game. It was just that one moment. Andre Blake came up with another save just a few minutes later. Aside from that, it's just 3 shots for the United States tonight. It's the same amount of shots that Jamaica has. They had a penalty saved in this game. Jamaica. Too much on the through pass. That Turner will jog over to receive. For Jamaica, the more you get Gray, Bailey, Nicholson on the ball, I think good things would happen. Those are those star front 3 men for Jamaica. Just missing Mikel Antonio tonight, who's suspended. Steve McLaren's talked about ambitious goals for this Jamaican side, saying we're looking to bring in those extra talents, those warriors and leaders to make this squad better. Says he's looking in England for some more talents that might be able to increase the quality on this side. It's already making some noise in this Concacaf region lately. That ball went out of play, but it's a throw into the United States. Greg Lee was talking about Steve McLaren as well, saying he's been fantastic. Says he seamlessly embraced the role and is thrilled to manage this squad. Went on to say he's always recognized the immense potential within Jamaica. We've made significant strides in recruitment. Recruitment is going to be a big thing. We've seen it already with this team under Heimer Hallgrimsson and previous regimes since Nations League has started. We're in 4 minutes of stoppage time. Tillman puts this in a central area. The clearance away by Mason Holgate. And the United States will have a corner kick. Rather just a throw-in. Scally. Now McKennie. Pepe couldn't win the second ball. Amari Bell trying to close the half strong for Jamaica. Over the top, Damari Gray. Gray now being hassled by McKenzie. See if the flag comes up at the end of this sequence. And now it does. Offside is the decision. If you're Steve McLaren, you have to like that these front runners trying to put pressure on this United States back line. Timing just a little bit off there with Gray. Saw it earlier with Nicholson as well. Pressure from behind. It's a whistle. McKennie down for the United States. Went into the challenge with Joel Latabaudiere. McKennie earning his first cap under Mauricio Pochettino as well tonight. Was part of the October window, but has not made an appearance for the United States since Copa America. Collision between McKennie and Latabaudiere. Tessman wins it back in the middle. And now Malik Tillman. These competitive matches so important for the United States to utilize without Concacaf World Cup qualifying, because they are directly qualified to the World Cup in 2026. Nations League and Gold Cup are two crucial competitions for the United States to earn these competitive matches, earn these competitive minutes. Some pressure on these players before the lights shine bright on the hosts in about a year and a half or so. Juan Gabriel Calderon brings this first half to a close. A quarter of the way through this two-legged Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal. And Ricardo Pepi, Matt Turner, the big names for the United States in the first half. Pepi's goal in the 5th minute. Turner's penalty save just a few minutes later has the United States out in front at the break in Kingston. teams making their way back out onto the field for the second 45 minutes of action tonight from Kingston, Jamaica, and the National Stadium. I'm Josh Eastern, glad to be with you for this first leg Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal. It was an interesting first 45 minutes. The United States getting on the board within 5 minutes. But now this second half, crucial to see if Jamaica can get back into it, or if the United States will have a crucial away goal to carry into the second leg in St. Louis on Monday. Expecting a couple of subs for Jamaica to start this second half. Steve McLaren wanting to shake things up after 45 minutes from what he has seen. Arguably the biggest matchup that he has contested as Jamaican national team manager so far. The two subs, Ronaldo Cephas will enter, and so will Isaac Hayden. Damari Gray and Greg Lee will come off. Isaac Hayden comes on to make his Jamaican debut tonight, who currently plays for Queen's Park Rangers, formerly with Newcastle United. And it looks like we are all set to go for this second half. There's the whistle, and we are underway for 45 more minutes of action from Kingston. It's the United States and Jamaica. Confirmation of the two subs, Cephas, the 25-year-old who was earning his 11th cap tonight, and Isaac Hayden, who makes his international debut, the 29-year-old. Teams will switch ends. The United States into the attack here with Yunus Musa trying to cut it back. Pulisic just didn't get there quick enough. The two club teammates at AC Milan, Yunus Musa and Christian Pulisic. Yunus Musa talked coming into this game about Jamaica being a physical team and saying that we need to match the intensity and be ready for the fight. Well, they were ready for it right off the bat, but I think they faded a little bit as that first half came to a close. Lata Bodier with the foul against Christian Pulisic. There was a great clip from the behind-the-scenes video of the United States in their last window of Matt Turner in a team huddle during that game against Mexico, where they got beat up. They lost 2-0 in that game, but they said, we got to protect our guy. And he was talking about Christian Pulisic. The floated ball forward. There's Andre Blake to punch it away. Musa gets back on it. Blake retreats into his goal. Musa trying to turn the corner. It ends up out of play. It was last off the heel of Musa on a goal kick for Jamaica. Steve McLaren, head coach for Jamaica, said coming in, the players have shown the mentality they have to win games and have different ways to win games. He says that's important, but we're going to need all of the ingredients against a very good and a very strong United States squad tonight. Jamaica, over the summer in Copa America, was a team that sat back quite a bit, tried to catch teams out on the counterattack. They only scored 1 goal through their 3 Copa America matches. They nearly beat Mexico, or gotten at least a point out of that game against Mexico, but losing then to Venezuela and Ecuador. Here's Cephas. Cephas, who currently plays in Turkey. Ball out of play, throwing back to the U.S. Good pressure high up the field. Cephas right into the game, right into the fire. Here's Pepe. Now for Tessman. Tessman, good feet in the middle. Tessman goes down, earns the foul. There were some rough moments in that first half for Tanner Tessman, but that was a bright spot there. This quick little turn. Oh, it was just before that. That was the foul. Here's Pulisic, who delivers. The heads go up, comes all the way through. Pepe will see this out of play. Throw in for the United States. McKennie, tug of the shorts. That'll get McKennie a yellow card. A crucial player for the United States, Weston McKennie, now into the book. Has to watch himself for the remainder of this game to remain eligible for Monday's game. It was a quick turnaround, really, for both Jamaica and the United States coming into play tonight. With this game being on a Thursday, team gathering either on Sunday or Monday. Just a few days of prep and then right on here to Kingston. They started in Orlando. They'll move on to St. Louis for the second leg right after this one concludes. Played out wide. Cephas cutting it in. Still Cephas. His shot is well wide. Cephas just onto the field trying to make an impact. Cephas getting in that wide position, trying to make it happen. That's too tall for Anthony Robinson. Pass off the mark from Mark McKenzie. Now Pulisic bursting forward. He was pulled back. Free kick coming for the United States. Pulisic doesn't appreciate it. Doesn't appear there's going to be a card coming. Pulisic talking to anybody who will hear him. It's Lemby Kisa who just grabbed that left hand. Now Pulisic delivers, bouncing this one in and out of play. Tessman got tangled up there with Palmer, and it was Tessman who drew the foul. That's well done. Got his body between Palmer and the ball, and earns blows the whistle back the other way. Palmer not in agreement with that decision. I mentioned it in the first half, but it's worth mentioning again. No Mikel Antonio tonight. He's out suspended. Ethan Pinnock not part of the roster tonight. Also, Bobby D. Cordova-Reed is out for this window, it appears, as he is expecting a child. He's also been battling some injuries, just didn't quite work out for D. Cordova-Reed. Played a big part in Copa America this summer for Jamaica. He misses out on this November window. Yunus Musa delivers. Bounces all the way through. Nobody got a touch on it. Here's Pulisic. Pulisic battling again with Lembi Kisa. Man, the clearance. Lembi Kisa, the 21-year-old on loan in Switzerland. Verdun. On loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers is Lembi Kisa. Bright young talent for this Jamaican side. Stay on side, he turns it back, keep it for the U.S. Testament. McKenzie. It was Tillman who tried to move it ahead, taking off the ball, and now it's a foul behind the play, and Cephas carries on for Jamaica. Ronaldo Cephas again puts it in a dangerous area. Nobody there to touch it towards goal. For Steve McLaren, you have to like what you've seen from Cephas, but a little bit more of that finishing product now for Jamaica. The United States, Pepe, just not on the same page as Christian Pulisic. Usually that goes the other way. Pulisic assisting Pepe, as was in the first half with the only goal for the U.S. First two shots of the game for the U.S. A goal and another save from Andre Blake, as a foul here will go the way of the U.S. Since then, though, just two shots, and both of them not on target. And a substitution coming. It's going to be Tyreek McGee to come on and replace Casey Palmer. McGee, who currently plays in the USL Championship, the second division in the United States for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, a team that is currently still alive in the USL Championship playoffs. He'll be missing their semi-final game this weekend because he is here with the Jamaican national team. Another look at this chance for Cephas, whipping that in a good area. McGee so far this year, 3 goals and an assist in his league play. McGee, who also played and started both Nations League games in the October window. In swinging, ball from Pulisic. Musa gets it back out wide. Pulisic again. His service has been really solid for AC Milan. He's been their set piece taker. This is lifted back post again. Tespin was cut off. United States keeping the ball, but what can they do with it? Pulisic, this is the man to turn to. He gets taken down once more, and he is on the surface. His play continues on. Musa, and now Tillman. And Scally puts it out of play. And this is where Tim Ream, the captain, will come in. Pulisic does not appreciate all these fouls. And this is a common occurrence with the United States. The yellow card is coming out, and Damian Lowe will have his name taken. The big center back now. Some pushing and shoving. There was, and that was a pretty good connection right through the back of Christian Pulisic there by Damian Lowe. Nothing malicious, but I think a yellow card seems pretty accurate for this sort of challenge. Ball was well gone. Turned over, and Jamaica now with numbers ahead if they can go quickly. Bell down the line for Cephas, sliding challenge by Tillman. Tillman thought that it was deflected out, but it will be a throw-in for Jamaica. They go right back at it with Cephas. Leon Bailey trying to slide it forward. Touched away by McKenzie. Now Lembikisa coming forward again. It's Nicholson and blocked by McKenzie. A big defensive intervention by the United States center back. Moved out wide again, and Tyreek McGee could not keep that ball in play. That was one of the better attacking sequences of this second half for Jamaica. And Mark McKenzie at the center of all of it defensively for the United States. Quick little play. McKenzie getting over quick enough, and the reaction from the crowd. Gonna move it down the line, out of play. Throw-in coming for the United States as they try to stem some of these tides that are coming back towards them from Jamaica. Now Jamaica with more shots than the U.S. in this game. As we've talked about, you'll talk to a lot of veteran United States players. They play away games in Concacaf. It doesn't always have to be pretty. It's just the result that matters in the end. Lowe trying to come forward. There was a foul, and it's brought back for a Jamaica free kick. Lowe is asking for a card. I'm not sure it'll get to that. Jamaica will have a set piece. To Baudier and Bailey. It'll be Bailey to roll it forward. Cephas puts it in front, and it's put wide. Mason Holgate was on the doorstep for Jamaica. What a chance for the Reggae boys. A little something off the training ground as well. It'll be a corner kick coming. Another look at it here. Big defensive play in the middle. That looked to be Yunus Musa right on the goal line, and he was all sorts of fired up. What a chance for Jamaica. Now the in-swinger, punched away, back towards goal and over the bar. It's a corner kick. Jamaica is asking for a handball. The referee is pointing to his shoulder. The crowd starting to get into it. Another close chance for Jamaica. Bailey again. Bailey near post and headed out of play. Isaac Hayden. This was almost in from the corner, and then there was that appeal for handball. Matt Turner doing ever so well to keep that out. Just that little chicken wing there by Tim Ream. It was close, but I think they did get that one right. He gets dragged down again. And to throw and going to Jamaica. He has been beat up in this game as Christian Pulisic. And now more of a coming together. Nicholson and Robinson. Leon Bailey and Anthony Robinson talking things over. Steve McLaren on the field now as well, the manager for Jamaica. I think anything more than just a few words being exchanged, but now this is a couple of times. The yellow card is in the hand of our referee, Juan Gabriel Calderon. Still sorting this out. Anthony Robinson, they have a conversation. Leon Bailey, also over there. Yellow card to Bailey, yellow card to Robinson, and we move on. This is what happened. All started with that foul against Pulisic, and then there was that. Bailey did not appreciate that. Pushes exchanged. They're still going at it. The referee doesn't want to see it anymore. Fulham and Aston Villa played on October 19th. Robinson was on the field, and so was Bailey, and they were going right up against each other on that same side of the field. Bailey came off after 61 minutes, earned himself a yellow card. Now moved down the line again. Here's Leon Bailey. Bailey tries to put it in front. It was blocked. Laid off again for Tyreek McGee. Square ball. Holgate keeps it moving. Here's Amari Bell. And Jamaica wants to keep possession. Moved out wide, too far for Leon Bailey. United States readying 2 subs. Brandon Vasquez and Gianluca Busio will be entering. It's the goal scorer, Ricardo Pepi, who is being replaced. And so is Weston McKennie, who is on a yellow card. This might just be more man management than anything for Mauricio Pochettino in the United States. So 2 players on, in Vasquez and Busio. Gianluca Busio currently plays for Venezia. He's made 9 appearances this year in Serie A. Another look at the goal for Ricardo Pepi. Busio, who played in both of the friendlies in October, and now comes on once again. As for Brandon Vasquez, plays for Monterrey in Mexico. 3 goals in 16 Liga MX appearances so far in this 2024-2025 campaign. Vasquez also came off the bench against Mexico in that friendly in October. Last 3 matches between Jamaica and the United States have been 1-1 after 90 minutes. The last matchup ended 3-1 after extra time. Still about 20+ minutes for Jamaica to find an equalizer. Be a crucial goal to carry into St. Louis on Monday. Here's Leon Bailey. Bailey's shot blocked. Holgate rolling it forward again. Nicholson taking off the ball. Holgate tries to keep it alive. He went down. And Lemby Kisa keeps it in play. It's rolled down the line. That's a Baudier, Lemby Kisa. And Robinson couldn't keep it in play. Quick throw in. And Bailey. Bailey's cross denied again by Ream. Forward, and now Bailey. On the move again, Tanner Tessman. Another Foul in the middle. That's a Baudier with the foul against Tessman. Free kick to the United States. Here's Ream. It's floated forward. The heads go up. The header to come centrally by Vasquez, taken by Blake. And Blake with the quick distribution, long over the top. Turner's out of his goal. He got the header right. And it's out of play. That's well done from Matt Turner. I've seen him a few times tonight, not afraid to leave his area. The U.S. get it back under their control. That's where Jamaica can be dangerous, is in transition. As Busio is brought down, yellow card is out for Mason Holgate. Starts right into the lower thigh or knee area of Busio. Sub coming. End of the day for Shamar Nicholson. And entering will be a similar profile in Romario Williams. Williams, who currently plays in the USL Championship, same league as Tyreek McGee, second division of American soccer. Plays for Indy 11 in Indianapolis, Indiana. One more sub to go for Jamaica tonight. Two players slip. Vasquez and Lowe. U.S. keeps it with Pulisic. Now Tillman. Musa. Turner's clearance. Not exactly what he was looking for. Here's Williams. Flag up for offside. Another look at Matt Turner clearing that one off the line. And then was this a handball? It was tough to tell from that angle. Crowd sure thought so. Ream releasing Robinson down the line. Anthony Robinson's cross. Dealt with by Damian Lowe. Busio commits the foul. Damian Lowe looks to be shaken up here. His hamstrings heavily taped already from Lowe. Currently plays in Saudi Arabia. Played all across the United States in his career, both the USL and in Major League Soccer. The crowd staying lively tonight in Kingston. Looking for a way out, plays it through the middle. That's a Baudier. Helps to clear it away. It's been an interesting year for Andre Blake. Did not play in Copa America. It was Jamali Waite who was on the bench tonight. He was the #1 goalkeeper as Blake was injured. He was in and out of the lineup for his club team as well, the Philadelphia Union. It was a tough season for the Union. But Blake healthy enough here at the back end of the season to participate here in Nations League. Foul, Pulisic pulls down McGee. Williams loses out. Here's Busio. Busio got bumped. There was no foul. Hayden. Trying to turn the corner here. Cephas. He was stumbling. Again, no whistle. Just asked the referee to be consistent. He was in each of those last two very similar challenges. Leon Bailey. Ball just bobbling at his feet. He couldn't keep it. Pulisic. Fight for the loose ball. Pulisic still fighting. Low all the way back to Andre Blake. The shot count still 5-4 in favor of Jamaica. There's one shot in this second half for the United States. Kenzie with the header away. Now Malik Tillman. Minutes to go. The crowd growing a little bit restless tonight. That's a giveaway in the middle. Tessman. Ahead for Pulisic. Now looking for Brandon Vasquez. Vasquez deflected cross. Pulisic had already vacated that space, and it'll run all the way to the near side. Lembi Kisa. Tired legs out there, no doubt. Conditions also might be starting to play a factor. It's not been this hot where a lot of these players are playing their club football, especially in Europe. Temperatures tonight about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That's in the 20s Celsius. Turned over, chance to put this away, it's Vasquez. Not enough power behind that shot. Mauricio Pochettino, United States, getting the goal all the way back in the 5th minute. There's not been a whole lot since. Turned over, Tessman, Vasquez, and the U.S. will turn it back. Here's Austin Trusty is starting to warm up for the U.S. Get ready to come on for more defensive reinforcements. Over the top again, looking for Omario Williams, getting out of play. 5 minutes to go. Jamaica looking for some answers. Body language not great, to be honest. Right there for Mason Holgate, Steve McLaren. They're looking for something to go their way here in these last few minutes going into the second leg. And it's that balance of Jamaica not wanting to open up too much, because you know you still have 90 minutes to go on Monday, but if you can get a goal here tonight, that could go a really long way. And a yellow card is coming out here. And this is a second yellow card for Mason Holgate. Holgate sent off. He will miss Monday's game in St. Louis. And Jamaica down to 10 men. He's pulling back Brandon Vasquez. Holgate knew when he heard that whistle, his night was over. He started walking immediately to the locker room. Holgate earning just his third cap tonight. The players that has been brought in under Steve McLaren. It has not gone his way. Two subs coming for the United States, Austin Trusty and Alex Zendejas. Will also be the end of the day for Dexter Lembikisa. And Tavon Gray will enter. That's the final sub of the game for Jamaica. Final two subs of the game for the United States. Zendejas, his 10th cap. He has one goal. Plays for Club America. Austin Trusty plays for Celtic in Scotland. Zendejas and now Tillman. One of the players coming off for the United States was Tanner Tessman. Looks like Anthony Robinson. And there's Robinson down the line. Couldn't connect with him from Trusty. The other player coming off for the United States was Yunus Musa. His night comes to a close. He's been playing in a more wide position than maybe he's normally accustomed to, but he's fared well. U.S. will get Tim Weah back in the next match. Might he factor into the plans of Mauricio Pochettino? First, they want to see this one out, which is why the defensive reinforcements came. United States looking for their 4th all-time win here in Kingston. Just their second appearance in the past decade. Their other one was in World Cup qualifiers back in 2021, the 1-1 draw. The U.S. unbeaten in their last 7 against Jamaica. That goes back to a 1-0 friendly loss in 2019 in Washington, D.C. Trying to nod it forward for Vasquez, putting pressure on Blake, and cleared away. It's more of a subdued crowd now here in Kingston. The U.S. has taken the crowd out of it with that early goal. Jamaica, they haven't had too many chances to get back in it. It's 4 added minutes. Bucio rolls it out wide. Now Zendejas. His fans are streaming to the exits. Moved out wide for Anthony Robinson. Here's Pulisic. Bucio. Trying to move it forward, blocked down, Trusty. Here's Robinson and Bailey going at it yet again. Tillman tripped up by Williams. Free kick to the United States, and they can let more seconds tick away. Tillman coming through the middle. Challenge put in by Isaac Hayden. Free kick and a yellow card. I've seen Steve McLaren with that sort of expression on his face quite a few times tonight. That was no doubt about it. And the frustration evident from McLaren. Jamaica down to 10. This has not gone how they would have liked it to tonight. But if you look at it in the big picture going into the second leg, it's still just 1 goal. That was the Prime Minister of Jamaica who was catching this one at the National Stadium tonight. Here's Pulisic through the lines, nothing doing, and cleared all the way upfield. McGee, maybe one last chance. McGee for Cephas, and it runs out of play. That'll be one of the last chances of the game, if not the last chance. Matt Turner will take his time to put this back in play. These fans will head home fairly unhappy, although still just 1 goal in this game and 1 goal in this series. That is full time. The United States come to Kingston and come away with a 1-0 advantage after this first leg. Mauricio Pochettino, his first competitive match in charge and his first competitive win for this United States men's national team. Jamaica, they're still right in this series. It's just 1 goal in it. They came from behind a year ago against Canada to advance through. They'll have to do the same this time around. It's full time from Kingston after this first leg quarterfinal. Full-time score, Jamaica 0, the United States 1.
This evening, your thoughts this evening, the fans, and of course your debut?
Yeah, fans brilliant, turning out in their numbers again. Disappointing result. I thought, we started off quite poor. We didn't keep the ball well enough. They obviously got the goal. We could have got back in it with the penalty. Wasn't to be, but the lads showed great character in the second half. I thought a lot more structured in possession, and we created a lot of chances. And another day it could have been a 1-1, but as I said, especially with the sending off, we'll take the 1-0 going into the second game. Thanks.
Rico, these games are always difficult against Jamaica and way. Talk about the resilience of the team in getting the victory tonight.
Yeah, I think, the team showed out, of course. We were here to fight. We knew it was going to be difficult, but, at the end of the day, we got the result, and now it's time to go take care of it at home.
Take us through your goal tonight.
Yeah, I just saw Christian between the lines, and I saw a lot of space in behind, so made a run and, just finished it side net.
That's now 3 goals that you've scored against Jamaica. How do you feel confident against playing a team like this?
Yeah, like I said, it's a difficult team, of course, but, if I position myself in the right spaces, then I'm always going to find space to score a goal.
What does the team now have to do to get ready and recover for this second leg in 4 days?
Yeah, I feel like we got to enjoy this one a little bit, recover, go home, train, and, be ready for the next match.
Thank you, Rico.
Thank you.
full-time highlights tonight from Kingston, Jamaica, in the National Stadium. First leg, Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal between Jamaica and the United States. And right from the get-go, the United States on the front foot. Christian Pulisic connecting with Ricardo Pepi for the game's opening goal in the 5th minute. Pepi just keeping himself on side. Pepi scoring his 12th international goal, coming in his 32nd cap, while Christian Pulisic, another assist as he continues his stellar start to this 2024-2025 campaign for club and country. Mauricio Pochettino, his first competitive match in charge of the United States men's national team, and it goes about as good as it could in the first half. Anthony Robinson, another good opportunity, but this time saved by Andre Blake. These the first 2 shots of the game for the United States. They wouldn't have much more going for them, to be fair, throughout the rest of the game. They only had 1 more shot on target throughout the remainder of the 90 minutes. Jamaica, they would get some chances of their own, including this one from Shamar Nicholson, weaving his way through, eventually brought down. Matt Turner commits the penalty. It's a point to the spot. Nicholson and his right leg taken out there. And then the penalty by Damari Gray, saved by Turner. And it was just going to be that kind of night for Jamaica. Physical game throughout. More opportunities coming for the Reggae boys, and Leon Bailey, this one really nothing doing from that attempt. Come the second half, Jamaica, they would find a few more chances of their own. Ronaldo Cephas came into the game and really made an impact. This time, though, the cross going wide. Leon Bailey trying to get involved as well. Mark McKenzie coming up big on this sequence of play with the block, and then this second block to get that out of harm's way. This was another good chance for this Jamaican side, and Yunus Musa coming from the backside to clear that away. A big defensive play yet again from Yunus Musa. There's another great crowd tonight at the office, and how about from the corner kick? Cleared off the line by Matt Turner, and then it was Tim Ream. There were shouts for potential handball. He gets it out of play, and in the end, nothing doing in this one, but there would be a sending off in this game. Mason Holgate, he will not participate in the game on Monday in St. Louis, Missouri, as he was sent off, red card on a second yellow. And that was full time with the United States' goal in the 5th minute, standing up as the winner. The full-time stats, not a lot of chances in this game, but there are quite a few fouls in this game. Yellow cards to both teams. It is still right there for the taking come this second leg on Monday. Jamaica came from behind in the quarterfinals last year. They'll have to do it again this year. That'll do it for our coverage for our entire crew. I'm Josh Eastern saying so long and good night from Kingston.